He never wore it. So it's dudes my age that got sneakers stacked that they ain't wear, never wore. And they trying to get rid of them. You know, you might got an uncle or cousin that might got kicks. They don't wear them no more. It's stacked in the closet. Tell them to come through. See us at Sneaker Pawn. This is what we do. We take those off their hands.
For a year, you know, the idea of opening up a Sneaker Pawn for a year, and like, you know, it's been for a minute now. You know, at first it was like, well, how are we gonna get it open? We don't got enough money. You know, it was like so things started to come slowly. Like, you know, we put up shelves slowly, and then it was the TV, the furniture, then it was the counter, and then, you know, next thing you know, we had a couple sneakers. I'll put my sneakers on the wall and put them on display. You know, if people was coming in here, you know, just so they could see. And like the idea was definitely here for a while, and he definitely told me, you know, just stick to something, because we had the store for a year. My love for sneakers came from the love for clothes and, you know, dressing up. So I had to have sneakers to match my clothes, and then it led into, well, why not, you know, just start collecting sneakers and getting every sneaker that comes out.
Of course, these things right here, these Olympics, because, you know, my savior, Michael Jordan, he played in them things, man, so I like those.
So that's where I started collecting sneakers and, you know, having my own collection. And then it led into, well, why not open up your own sneaker store, so you, instead of reselling to other people, you can resell to yourself. And, you know, sell it out of your store.
These are Jordan Gold ones. These are so rare right here. It was only like about 2,000 pairs made of these right here. So these are very rare right here.
So we knew it was gonna be something big because it was gonna be the first, you know, the first of its own. But then it was also like, well, we don't know how people are gonna react to it.
Like, I was a little bit skeptical at first. Like, I didn't know like what to expect. But after I looked into it, like, I love this place. Like, this place is amazing. The 11s aren't even my favorite Jordans. My favorite Jordans are the 12s. Speaking of 12s, taxis. I love the taxis.
However, you know, when people did start coming in here and they started seeing in the store, like, they like the nice space in here, you know, how we, you know, deal with customers, how we interact with them.
Maybe I could do it with 30 on the box. Something like that. So that'd be like 210.
Perfect. I just want to give it. I don't even wear them.
And definitely, like, you know, people definitely went crazy when they found out they could pawn their sneakers. So it was, and then we actually ended up getting a good reaction from customers, and like the New York Post did an article, and after New York Post did that article, everybody was like, you know, thought it was amazing. So.
All right, we're gonna take a short minute to look at a couple movies. The first movie that we're gonna look at is X-Men: Days of Future Past. This movie was amazing just because the creator was able to tie in all the previous X-Men's and close them up. The storyline was amazing. They really captured the characters' powers very well. Just in general, as a comic book fan, this was something that I loved. I can't wait for the Age of Apocalypse to come out. It looks like a great movie. Next, we have The Purge, the second one. I'm really not gonna give it too much other than calling it the second one because it did not make me want to see the first. The movie was terrible. The main character didn't drive or motivate me to do anything. The sequences were weird. I felt like the characters, the villains, and the people who were actually purging weren't even really like scary, or like I didn't even understand this film at all. Like, what was the point? It wasn't scary. The acting sucked. I went with a friend, so I had to lie and act like it was good, which was terrible. But you know, I just would recommend don't see this, and I'm not gonna see the first one after this. So, you know, I hope that you don't watch it.
Tamika Chapman is a 27-year-old Harlem native with a 7-year-old daughter. Chapman is a single mother who enjoys working at Harlem Grown.
I seed, and I transplant, and I harvest, and I check like the water levels to make sure everything is okay with the water because everything is recycled. So we want the water to be as healthy as possible, being that nothing in the greenhouse is grown with soil, it's all grown with water.
Chapman is learning to become more patient growing plants. Through her experience at Harlem Grown, she encourages her family to refrain from meat 1 week out of the month.
You see on TV that you should eat healthy, you should eat more, but you're not around it. Me being around it, it's showing me that, like, yeah, you definitely should eat more healthy, and I think that it's good for the community.
From the school to the garden, Onto the greenhouse.
Harlem Grown's Triangle grows leafy greens for a healthier community.
It's the same problem in every inner city in this country. Lack of men in the household, underserved schools, underserved communities.
Tony Hillary is the owner of Harlem Grown, and although it is not profitable, his long-term goal is to bring plants like basil and lettuce to disenfranchised neighborhoods.
That's the majority of the population of our school, on the parent side. 80% of our kids are raised in a single-parent household, and it's a staggering amount, but that's the reality that we work with here.
Tommy Hawkins with Columbia Television News.
Howdy, I'm Christopher Hollowell, and my partner Dan Dunbar and I started Dunwell Donuts, the premier vegan donut shop in New York City.
In 2011, we opened up our doors to the shop. And Christopher and I wanted to start a vegan business for years without knowing what it would be. One night, he'd just watched a Simpsons episode that featured donuts really prominently, and nowhere in New York City could he find a real, authentic donut that was vegan, so he called me up and said maybe we could do this. We use applesauce, we use egg replacer, and I think we actually got a superior product by not using milk or eggs.
Creme brulee, lemon cardamom, salted caramel pecan, apple pie, s'mores, tangerine basil, it's really good, peanut butter and jelly, avocado chocolate mousse filled. We made a curry with mango chutney once, it was really yummy.
And there's so much untapped potential in vegan food that every day it's getting better, it's getting more exciting.
Almost all of it is frivolous. Almost all of the animal experiments. And to see what
veganism today is just skyrocketing. The businesses that are starting are seeing a lot of success. We have launched a lot of small businesses just out of our festival. Their distribution is growing. There's a lot of demand for very clean and wholesome, healthy products. Different companies out there are noticing that items without animal products have fewer allergens, and it just becomes a no-brainer for companies when they're creating new products.
If you're going to do a vegan business, you also want to have a healthy business. I'm Sam Severance. I'm the co-owner of Buna Cafe, a vegan Ethiopian restaurant based in Bushwick, Brooklyn. We've been a pop-up for 2 years. We've done a variety of events, and most recently we've acquired a space and we've transitioned to a full-service restaurant. The restaurant that was here before went out of business in November, and we only had a few weeks to jump on it if we were going to get it. So we decided to do an Indiegogo campaign and see if we could fund the build out through our supporters. The last 30 minutes, we got our final donation that pushed us over $15,000. The support from the vegan community was insane, like it was incredible. And they also did a really great job of spreading the word. With the hashtag vegan, yeah, forget it. Yeah, it's a big one, yeah. There's a lot of that going on.
There's a built-in market immediately, as we always say, if you build it, they will come with vegans. We love food, we like good food, we like food that we haven't tasted, and we will go to it.
I mean, we do say we're vegan Ethiopian food, but we don't put it in bold print all over the place, It just comes down to there's still a barrier a mental barrier people place on the word vegan, where they're not even willing to cross that border and even give it a shot.
We don't really put in bright lights that we're a vegan business because we're not trying to hit people over the head with it.
We've seen it all the time. People won't even walk in the door. They won't even bother trying it. So we at least wanted people to have that first bite before we tell them it's vegan,
The first or second day we'd been open, someone got a coffee, they wanted to put creamer in it, and they're like, do you have any dairy creamer? And we're, no, sorry, we're a vegan business. And they just gave the coffee back to us and left.
I don't want you to judge the donut before you have it. I just want you to have the donut because you're gonna love it.
Veganism is becoming popular. I hate to use the word, but it's kind of becoming a trend in a way, a lot of celebrities are becoming vegan. and it's very much out in the open.
Well, New York has much more than just restaurants. There are cosmetic stores, vegan clothing stores, vegan shoe stores, vegan ice cream parlors, vegan pizza places, vegan tattoo parlors.
My name is Kayla Sergio. I've been tattooing for 3 years, and all the products I use are vegan. Some inks do contain animal glycerin, so fats, and also bone char. Vegan tattooing does not contain any animal products. You're not using any byproducts, nothing of an animal. So no animals were harmed, basically. Veganism, I guess, is definitely getting a bit more popular. A lot of businesses they'll try it for a while to see if it picks up business, and of course then it's just a trend and it may go away, but I'm still happy to hear it when I see something vegan.
It's less of a disadvantage than it was before to call yourself vegan. We're seeing a lot more people not be stigmatized by that label, or not be turned off by that label.
There was this great article once that was just like, let the donut do the talking, and that's what we do. We just, I don't have to prove to you, I don't have anything to prove to you. I just make a good donut, you know?
Hello, this is the Hawkeye Health Minute. We're gonna make a smoothie today with many fresh ingredients. And as a smoothie connoisseur myself, there's been many times where I've wondered what the best smoothie recipe is. So I'm gonna give you mine today. We're gonna start with some ice cubes. Then we're gonna add some fresh bananas for energy and flavor. Then we're gonna add a whole orange for flavor. Bananas and oranges are the key to flavor for smoothies. Then we're gonna add 8 strawberries, which help with immunity. So far, we've added 8 strawberries, a rack of ice cubes, an orange, and 2 bananas. But the next ingredients are very important. We're going to add yogurt for digestion. Then we're gonna add some grapes. Then we're gonna add some bare naked nuts. Then you should grab about a handful of spinach leaves. And last but not least, my favorite little indulgence for the smoothies, some honey. And now we're ready to mix. And we'll pour it up. Now, although the color isn't the greatest, this is a great tasting smoothie and the perfect breakfast smoothie for any morning. Although it's 3 o'clock, don't judge me.
My name is Antonio Javard, and I'm an inspiring communicator. Against all odds, I finished high school, graduated from Florida A&M University as a first-generation college student, and I became their 2012-2013 Public Relations Graduate of the Year. Then I moved to the city of my dreams, the Big Apple. You know, my whole life I've faced setbacks, fear, rejection, and disappointment, but I've never stopped believing in my greater purpose. My purpose? To touch the hearts of people and to spark positivity, inspiration, and the desire to be their best. You see, oftentimes in life, we forget that the power in believing is actually feeling that belief. The moment you change the way you perceive and think about your life, everything in your life will change. I want to help you recognize and understand your full potential, harness your focus, and create positive thought patterns. For more information on how we can work together, visit AntonioJavard.com. Amazing things are waiting to happen for you. The time is now. What I want to talk to you about is meditation. Before you meditate, one of the things that you want to do first is you want to set your intent that when you're getting ready to go into meditation, that you're going to allow yourself to just be relaxed. You want to set that intent prior to you meditating. Then, as you begin to meditate, the first and most important thing that you want to do is begin to focus on your breathing. Don't try to start thinking. Don't try to sit in the necessarily perfect position. You just want to focus on your breathing. You want to take deep breaths in, deep breaths out. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And as you begin to do that, you begin to be relaxed and more relaxed. Just allow yourself to do that. Practice this method every day for 10 to 15 minutes for the best results. Enjoy.
This is my first event, although I'm an ELC member a little over a year now, and it has just been food for my soul.
We inspire each other to keep moving to that next chapter and to keep elevating ourselves and to maintain the love that we have amongst each other.
It's also an extraordinary reminder of the things that we often forget about, the things that we should value in ourselves, and recognizing what we bring to the space and accepting it and owning it and being real with it.
We've made so many connections, and this is what ELC, Women's Leadership Forum, is all about.
We're going to lean in on a conversation with 4 sassy and smart, phenomenal women, each representing a different generation, 3 within the same bloodline.
The education is there if people seek it, but it's not cool to be educated. It's not cool to have creativity. It's not cool to have an imagination.
The universe is born on movement and change. We're expanding all the time. We can't even perceive it. We don't even understand it. Then you're free when you get on that stage and you're powerful and you're commanding time and space. So to dance is to know what power is.
It's not where you are from. It's how you feel about yourself and the courage you take in self-expression and self-development. I took that at the age of 9.
Well, Dr. Allen, I have one last question for you.
Yes.
What day were you born?
It was July 29th.
July 29th.
I wish that every woman here tonight really listened and takes the courage to do what she's thinking to do. Come on.
The real leaders are people that are not trying to be leaders, not trying to lead people. They've actually led themselves to something. And in doing that, we're able to watch them do that, and that's what inspires people to move. That's what inspires me to move. I'm not necessarily inspired by someone who just calls himself a leader and tells people what to do, and they have not done it themselves. What's inspiring to me is seeing someone who's gone on a journey, who is merely just relaying what their journey was, and in doing that, they are now a leader.
Well, the Glamover is a great opportunity for a mom-to-be to get a makeover, get a new look with her hair, and then in the end, have a fun photo shoot on the streets of New York City.
Butterfly Studio, we started in 2001. We have a great culture here where, clients feel comfortable as soon as they walk in, speaking to all our staff members, and we really like to connect with our clients and making sure that we give them the full experience.
I am 27 years old and having a boy, expecting my baby boy on July 21st. So that makes me 34 weeks pregnant. I'm with a boyfriend of 10 years tomorrow. His name is Nadia Brew, and this is our first. Even though I didn't know exactly all the details of what exactly I wanted, just knowing that I was a winner made me so excited. I'm happy to be here, and I cannot wait to look beautiful.
I walked in and pretty much met with the stylist and met with the colorist, and we spoke a little bit about what they were looking to do, what made sense, what kind of went with my skin tone. and quickly started with the stylist who cut my hair. What she did was kind of layer the front a bit, took off some inches from the bottom, and then the colorist added some highlights to the front, more like the face frame.
I'm Alex's friend, and I've known her for over 10 years. We met in college really, really long time ago, and we've had a great friendship ever since then. And I'm here today joining her in her makeover, just being a friend.
And then I met with the makeup artist who claimed me up and got this beautiful dress, which I adore the color, and did a photo shoot. You're so focused on preparing for the arrival of the baby that you lose focus on yourself. You know, your priority really isn't doing your hair, doing your nails, and getting beautified. So really just taking the time to focus on yourself before the arrival of the baby, it's been great. I feel gorgeous. I feel so beautiful. I love my makeup, my hair, my amazing dress and the color of it, so I've had an awesome time. My entire experience from my first encounter with Tina through email and just the photographer, everyone's been so kind, so helpful. They really make you feel like you're special and you are the priority.
There you go. You're afraid to use the kids.
Thank you so much. No, it's definitely been great. I've enjoyed it.
I'm so glad. You're so awesome.
Thank you. You're awesome. You deserve to feel special. So.
This NBA season is going to be extremely exciting. We've got a lot of young talent in the league. There's many players that have moved around or gone to new teams. We have LeBron James now in Cleveland, who's returned. You know, he's returned with the Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love, who are two young players. I think he's smart to go to a team that's a lot younger because D-Wade and Chris Bosh look like fossils in the finals. So that's just how I feel about it. Now, although in the finals they performed like fossils, they did re-up nicely this offseason. They got Danny Granger, they acquired Luol Deng, Josh McRoberts, so the Heat will still be a good contender, but I don't think they'll be better than the Cavaliers. The biggest question is whether either one of these teams will be able to compete with the Spurs, because at this point the Spurs have proven that they dominate the West and that there's not another team that really can compete with them at this point. But I think their biggest contenders this year are going to be the Dallas Mavericks. You know, I got to put on my Mavericks cap and represent Dallas and let it be known that we picked up Chandler Parsons, we got Monte Ellis, we picked up Raymond Felton, got Jameer Nelson. We were the only team to take the Spurs to 7 games last year, so I think it's safe to say that we're the closest contender against them. And I'm confident that we can beat them this year, which is why the Mavericks will be my dark horse pick of this year. I think they're going to perform a lot better than people expect, and they could have a potential to get a title run. My pick to win it all is actually the Cavaliers, but you know, I feel like the Mavericks are a dark horse team that could, you know, upset somebody. My surprise team would definitely be the Golden State Warriors. I think that Steph Curry and Klay Thompson as being the best backcourt in the NBA are only going to get better, and as they continue to retool and bring in Steve Kerr, unfortunately they got rid of Mark Jackson, but bringing in Steve Kerr, he's a great mind as he is, I think they're going to be very successful. So we will see what happens this season, and tune in this Tuesday for live action.
Roosevelt Island is an island in the East River between the boroughs of Queens and Manhattan that's 2 miles long, 800 feet wide, and has 14,000 people living on it. And it's my hometown. It's a real small neighborhood, small town community. I've lived on Roosevelt Island 36 years. And in 1969, the state of New York rented the island or leased it from the city of New York for 99 years. And under the guidance of Governor Nelson Rockefeller, they built in a community. The island was renamed Roosevelt Island, and the first 5,000 people started moving onto the island in 1975. I came here in 1976. The bridge above us is the Queensboro Bridge, better known as the Ed Koch Bridge, better known as the 59th Street Bridge from Simon and Garfunkel. And it opened in 1909. It is a cantilever bridge, which means that the bridge is supported by a third of it in Manhattan, a third of it in Queens, and a third of it on Roosevelt Island. On the island, we have 6 designated landmarks. These are buildings that were preserved, all of which were built in the 1800s. The Chapel of the Good Shepherd, which was built in 1889 and designed by Frederick Clark Withers. Now it's our Catholic chapel and our Episcopal chapel. The Octagon, which was originally the entrance to the New York City Pauper Lunatic Asylum. The Lunatic Asylum functioned from the 1840s until 1895. And in 2006 it was renovated, and it is now the entrance to an apartment house. But the landmark octagonal entrance has been preserved and beautifully restored. The lighthouse, which was built in the 1870s, also designed by James Renwick Jr., and it was the northernmost tip of the island, and it's the confluence of the East River, the Harlem River, and the Long Island Sound, and the area has very dangerous tidal currents, so it was very important that a lighthouse be there to prevent the ships from crashing in these treacherous waters. 3 little statues in the water, and they are called the marriage of real estate and money. A guy like Moneybags being pulled down by the real estate interest, and a lobster grabbing at people. So they're very symbolic of a little bit of greed. There's the building you're in now, which is the Roosevelt Island Historical Society Visitor Center, which is a 1909 former entrance to a trolley car station. And this building is 220 square feet. The Historical Society adopted this building and had it relocated onto the island. And since 2007, it's been a visitor center and the place where we welcome tourists and visitors and give them information and tell them all about the island. And it's a very fun place to work. I have a staff of about 5 people who work here. We're open 6 days a week. And it's a very nice introduction to the island. That's the fun of living here.